What's up, good people? This is the Conscious Connections podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Blackson. Today we have the married couple, Michael and Angie Greco. Welcome y'all to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us today.
All right, I already know what y'all had to eat this morning, but are y'all ready to tell us some of the other stuff about your relationship? You ready? I don't hear any words.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, cool. So first question, we're going to kick it off. What does it mean to consciously connect?
You can go, babe.
All right. I think one of the things that I love about Angie, and one of the things that made me fall in love with her, is that we really listen to each other, and we really, we talk things out a lot. Like we try our best not to, hold anything in, whatever we're feeling. If it's something's if we're happy about something, and we share it. If something's bothering us, we share it. And I think that really helps us connect a lot, because we have that, that thing where, you're the person, we're the people that we can talk to each other, and that's kind of that really kind of makes that big connection.
Okay. Thanks for that, Michael. Angie?
All right. I guess for me, I've been trying to work on empathy and just thinking, how would Michael feel if I said this to him? Like, is there a different way I can say it? Or, I've been trying to work on that. And just trying to find different ways of being kind to each other, being good to each other, and being best friends.
That's good. So as best friends, what are the things that you do and you feel the most connected to one another? With some of the activities?
Definitely the music. We love, that's kind of how we met. Mm-hmm. Since I'm a singer, he's a guitar player, kind of just fit together. So we've been doing that. We're also big nerds, so we love playing video games. We love the comic books, anything nerdy. We both like to do. We like to get outside and stuff like that.
Have you all created a song together?
All right. Since we have that music thing in common, we both went to college for music. We're both music teachers.
Okay.
I'm in the Philadelphia School District. Angie's in the Archdiocese right now. And, we do that. We've recorded a few albums. For first started off, actually, we recorded at a studio right down the street, Little Drummer Boy. That's our favorite recording studio. They're so awesome over there. We did an album for our wedding. So we what, let's do it. We were going to give it out as like a wedding favor, So we came up with a whole bunch of love songs that were, what did we do? We did Stevie Wonder, My Cherie, Amour. We did Michael Jackson, I Can't Help It, The Withers, Just the Two of Us. We just picked out some of these kind of really popular love songs, and we did the covers, just acoustic guitar and vocals. And we gave that out as wedding favors, and then that was the first thing we did. And then Angie, you want to tell them about your album?
Oh yeah. So we ended up bringing in some friends to do an album together of my music. That was pretty cool. So it was him. It was his friend Gabe, his friend, actually all his friends, guitar, bass, drums. They're my friends too. So we all got together and did my album in 2020 before the pandemic.
Okay.
Right before it hit.
Okay. Yeah. How did you all meet? Tell us that story.
So we actually went to high school together. We both went to Kappa. Okay. But when we were there, we didn't really know each other. We never said a word to each other. I just saw him. He always had this serious face when he was practicing. It was like, maybe you don't want to. He didn't look unapproachable, but yeah.
I just never talked to her.
Yeah. So we did see each other. And then I had, we hit adulthood, and I guess in my late 20s I was on OkCupid, and we actually saw each other, but I'm not sure if I don't think he knew that it was me.
Yeah, so I saw this picture of her, her pictures on her profile. It's just, I've never been with somebody that kind of shares the same love for music as I do. And just to see this beautiful lady with a guitar, and she's pictures of her singing, I was like, oh man, I have to talk to this lady. Yeah. And then I messaged her, and she's like, hi, Michael. I'm like, how did you know my name? So it turns out.
What was your profile name?
Oh, Heavy Strings 86.
And what was yours, Angie?
Love's Melody.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Music and music. Okay. All right. Yeah. So when she said, "Hi, Michael," and you said, "How you know my name?"
I was like, "How do you know me?" She's like, "We went to high school together." And then I was like, and I put two and two together. It was Angie. We were even friends on Facebook too. But like, you gotta like 1,000, 2,000 friends on Facebook. You don't keep in touch with all of them.
Yeah, you had pictures of your old girlfriend on there.
I deleted.
Is that a thing though? Do you have to delete them when you break up, or do you delete them when you get in a new relationship, or you keep them because it's just a part of your life? But what do you think?
Honestly, I just wasn't even thinking about it. And, she brought it to my attention. So I spent some time. It took me, I went through all my pictures and I make sure I got all out of those because, you're my lady now. So that's why I got to.
You are my lady.
But some of them were like, different travels and different people I met,
or you might have looked good in the picture.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still want to keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So Angie, is it like for you, once you break up, erased? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I guess the same for me. I had to go through and I had a whole bunch of, my thing, I used to give cards all the time, and with the person I was with before him, we used to always give each other cards. So I had to go through and like, all right, it's a nice card, but throw it away. You're not with that person anymore. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So based off how you all two met and then connected via the dating app, what would be the title of that track?
I don't
know. Let's see. I'm usually good at titles too. I come up with the most random title. I'm usually really good at titles. I come up with the most random titles. Some with love and
love and circumstance.
And or like you were right under my nose. Or something like, you were there the whole time, something like that. Yeah, because we went to high school.
Right.
She's a year younger than me, so for 3 years we were in high school together. But I was kind of like an introvert, and I didn't talk. It took me probably not till like junior year in high school to even like start to open up and talk to people. And I was just kind of always stuck in a room with my guitar all day. So yeah, you were there all along.
Oh.
So I know you talked about being an introvert during high school. Is that kind of still how you are now, or have you feel like you pretty open, extroverted?
It's kind of like a healthy mix, I love, I'm all about family and friends. I love making connections. I love getting to know people. And music has definitely brought me, gave me the opportunity to travel and meet a lot of people and have some really cool experiences. But also I love my alone time. I love my downtime,
me too.
Just to, go up and just do anything I want to do, whether it be, work on some of my own music or just maybe something totally not music related, play some old school video games, like some Street Fighter and some Mortal Kombat, and just read some comic books, just have some alone time, so I it's kind of like a healthy mix.
Yeah. Angie, how do you feel about that? Were you more outgoing during high school?
You know what? I think I went the opposite way. I was extroverted, but really I was an introvert all along, and I was just like trying to make friends. So I kind of reverted back to being an introvert. But he helps me get out of my shell a little bit. He's like,
"Come on, let's go."
Like,
okay.
She was really nervous about today, and I said, "No, this is going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time."
I was nervous.
What were you nervous about? Tell us.
I'm just like an awkward person, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know,
Just the truth. That's all. Just the truth. Y'all are experts on y'all. We don't know, so you just say the truth. How would you describe Angie?
Sweet, giving, selfless. She doesn't want to do anything for herself ever, and I got to tell her. I said, "Babe, take some time. I'll sit with the baby. You go do your own, you do something you want to do," because she wants to give a lot, sometimes too much, where it's like you need to do some stuff for yourself. So, definitely. Yeah.
Angie, what was the most memorable thing that Michael has given you? Can you tell us the time? Like, take us back to that moment.
Oh, wow. You know what I have to say? When I was pregnant with my daughter, I got sick with preeclampsia. So my blood pressure was through the roof. I wasn't feeling well for like a week. I was like, I think I need to call, and see what's going on. So the nurse said, you have to go to the emergency room. So my blood pressure was like 160 over something. It was like climbing up. So I had to stay in the hospital 2 months before I gave birth to my daughter. And he stayed at the hospital every single night. And like, for me, that was like, wow. And he was about to start teaching again in like late August. So that was that was a gift to me because I was lonely all day, but then I knew he was going to come and be there. Yeah. So.
That's sweet. What about you, Michael? You describe Angie as selfless. So what has she given you that has been the most memorable?
Oh, so many things. Okay, one thing that really comes to mind is I was at a school and, I did my best at this school. Like it was like kind of like some of the kids were really, really rough. And I always did my best. And there was new people coming into this school, like new administration coming in all the time. And it was like, once you got to know them, they got to know you, then they were out. Because they had a hard time at the school too. Some of the kids were just kind of came from some kind of real tough backgrounds. And, but anyway, I had this one guy, he was really giving me a hard time, and I put my whole heart and soul into my teaching and did the best I could. But unfortunately, some of the kids are really, you came to my classroom, sometimes it would be great. Sometimes the kids would just be doing whatever they wanted. And this one administrator, he gave me a really hard time, and basically he told me go look for another job. And I was so down, and I was crying.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't, I'd be just sitting on the couch crying. I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I had been at this job for like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Then Angie, I went to go see her, and, she gave me this really nice card. Just says, just keep going. Don't give up. And she gave me this coffee cup. It's a Superman coffee cup. And, she said, you're my Superman. And it was filled with Reese cups, which are my favorite. And that just kind of really helped me to reset. And keep going. And I applied for another job, and I got the job. And she believed in me, and that really meant a lot.
That's nice. Yeah. Off that subject though, but still within it. Now, with your Reese cups, do you put them in the fridge or no?
It's kind of sometimes we just put them in the fridge just so they'll keep longer. But I like them like a little bit like room temperature.
Okay, Michael. All right. I thought we had a thing, but maybe a little later. I thought we had a thing, but all right. Later. It'll be something else.
All right.
It'll be something else, I'm sure. So how long have you all actually been together?
It's almost 7 years.
Almost 7 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Has there ever been a time where you all separated in between that time? If it even lasted for a day.
No. We had some little rough patches, that were kind of just a little bit. So we had to work some things out and talk over some things. Really, it only took just a talk, and then we kind of worked it out. But it was, you want to tell them anything, or?
I guess
I would like for you all to tell us something. I mean, this story probably is something somebody may be going through now, so just to help others.
Talk about like kind of our trials and tribulations of COVID.
COVID. With COVID, I wanted to take it really serious, and he was kind of, I don't want to say you were leaning towards the other end, but he wanted to see his family, and I'm like, we just can't do that right now.
Yeah.
And because I have asthma. And I mean, it hit everybody differently. You never knew who was going to get really sick and possibly die. So I was like, we got to protect, because I was pregnant, and I was like, we can't play around.
And she got pregnant, like, we found out we were pregnant like 2 weeks before COVID hit.
Wow.
And we're like, we're telling everybody, we're doing the whole thing, and then it's like, we're on lockdown,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a few disagreements with that.
How did y'all work through it?
Really, I feel like it was the hospital. Like after when I got sick, it was like I had to stay in the hospital, and that kind of, I don't know. I guess it was kind of the resolution.
So I come from a big Italian family. I'm like, I'm like this with family, and it was really heartbreaking to not like, especially during these moments like we're having a baby.
Yeah,
all the preliminary things to go with that. It had to be done from afar. People were my family that, they had to like send us stuff instead of like us having a baby shower. It was just a lot of things that were just kind of, really disappointing, and then like, my father, my family, they took it seriously, but like they all live like down the street from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm a South Philly boy. So, when we got married, we moved to Mount Airy. So it's like a 20-minute drive and all.
Yeah.
So like, they're all like within walking distance from each other. We're all the way out there. So it's like, they kind of still want to see each other, weekly and all, but, it was really hard. And, we had a lot of disagreements and arguments about it, and sometimes like my parents would just show up like unannounced.
Yeah.
And that
would you like run into the room, Angie? Like, what would you do?
What did I do? I remember one time they did come, and then after they left, I was screaming. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, just because like I'm upset because I want to see. It was so nice to see them.
Yeah.
They would wear their mask and all,
right.
and distance and everything, but but we're then we get upset because we're having a baby, and it was hard for them too.
Yeah,
it was one of the toughest moments.
There's extra precautions on all ends, but then extra excitement on every end as well. Yeah. You mentioned the word a little while back, Michael, background, and you talked about coming from an Italian family. Although you all went to the same high school, so might have had a lot of similar experiences with music as well. What were some of the differences from your childhood that kind of influenced who you are today in this relationship?
I look at my father. I learned a lot from him. Just from the music, number one, because his record collection takes up the whole wall.
Wow.
Of the living room.
Yeah.
Not anymore. He's like kind of like, I'm done with stockpiling all this music. He's about the. I still collect records, but he still likes the streaming.
Yeah.
He's like all into that now. But he taught me a lot about music and just a lot about how to be there for your family and how to be a good person. He is there for me, my sisters, my mom, anybody in his family. He will drop everything he does at any time. So he's a cabinet maker by trade. He's carpentry and stuff. And you say to him, I need a new cabinet. He'll drop everything, make it for you, install it. I had a flat tire. Recently. He dropped everything he was doing, came to help me out. He's just that kind of person. Yeah. And I really aspire to be like that as well. Just to always be there for Angie and our daughter, and to be reliable and be
Yeah. What about you, Angie?
I had a different experience growing up because my family's kind of, I don't want to say broken up, but we're not close. So when I saw his family and I saw how different, I felt like, I wish that I love my family, but I kind of didn't quite understand, their connection. I'm like, so I'm close to my mom, but everybody else just kind of goes off to the side. I still love my family, but that's just how we are. We're not close with each other. So
with co-parenting now and creating your new family, what are those shared values that you all bring into that?
Well, I definitely want Joanna to always feel loved and like she could come to us with anything. I know she's only a year and a half. I always want her to feel like she has us always, I don't want her to ever feel distance from her. Like I know as growing up, I felt always distance from my dad because he just wasn't. He was there, but he wasn't, what I mean? So I never want her to feel like she can't come to either one of us and say, Mom, I feel this way. I feel like you treated me this way, or, can we do whatever? I just want us to have a close-knit family.
What are the values for you, Michael?
A lot of the same. Also to be, especially in this day and age where, I see my students and they cannot get their face off of their phones.
Yeah.
They can't, they have a hard time talking to each other.
Yes.
Interacting with each other, and it's like you see them, it's like they don't have a screen. If they don't have a screen in front of their face, So, we really try to instill that, I mean, she's only 18 months, so we still have but early on, we're really trying to, be like kind of low tech. We read books, if we go outside, we talk about the things around us. Yeah. We talk about the kind of people around us. I want her to be open to the world and be open to people and, kind of have a healthy mix of, yes, and technology is an important thing in our lives right now. I love it. But also to make, to be able to connect with people in the moment, and to communicate and to, be open to those things,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think technology is something that can help foster relationships like you all met online, right? So it's great in that way. But when it puts a barrier between actual relationships and relating to one another, then I think it loses its power and it's more of a hindrance than not. So I agree with you. I think a lot of parents, here, take the tablet. And it's like, you're just setting them up to be addicted to this, and that inability to have conversations, to critically think, right? To say how you feel. Yeah, I think that's like invaluable. Like if you can't teach your kids anything else, just teach them that of how to be in a space with other people because nobody can do everything by themselves. You'll have to talk to other people at some point. Yes, I think that's great.
That's crazy. Like sometimes I can Google anything I want, but sometimes I get the best results when I just talk to somebody. I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for a new accountant, or I'm looking for a mechanic, and sometimes you talk to somebody and somebody will give you somebody it could be somebody that's off the grid or something that you didn't know about.
Right.
Somebody knows something, Google it doesn't, or the internet doesn't have all the answers all the time. Yeah. Sometimes making those connections go far,
Absolutely. You all mentioned early on about connecting via listening. Through listening to your partner, what have you learned about yourself?
You should go. You should go. I'm still forming my answer.
You sure? I'm doing so much talking. Come on, I don't want to hog this whole thing. All right. So through the listening, I learned that sometimes that's all I need to do is listen. Because Angie might be going through something that I don't understand, and and sometimes I could say all the things. I can say it's going to be okay. Why are you so worked up? Don't worry about it. Try this, try that. And sometimes no matter what I say, it doesn't really. Sometimes it'll get kind of slightly confrontational where we're kind of going at each other's heads because I'm trying to tell her. And sometimes recently, I'm noticing if I just sit and listen and let her talk, that's kind of it makes her feel better, So I learned that about myself. Sometimes I'm I'm a talker, and I try to work things out in my head, and I always want to do everything I can to make her feel better. And sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, try this, do that. Sometimes it's just really I just need to sit and listen, and that's it. Sometimes, So I learned that about myself. Just listen. Yeah.
I think that's good. It pulls a lot of things into perspective for me because Angie gave you the Superman cup, right? And then you talked about always being reliable and being there for your family. Yet you learned most about yourself that sometimes you just need to be, right? And not have to do things. And I completely understand it. And also what you talked about, empathy. Sometimes people think empathy is sympathy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Or they think that they have to go above and beyond to express their empathy. But sometimes it's just, wow, I see you going through this and I'm just right here with you. Let me know if you need anything, So I think that's a beautiful observation. What about you, Angie?
I discovered that there were just a lot of things about myself that I needed to change in order to be not bad things. I needed to be more positive. Always I never thought I was a negative person, but sometimes I will say, oh, well, what if this happens? But he was always like, well, what if it doesn't? So, and just being more open to experiences. Like I said, I was kind of introverted, and he has helped me come out of my shell a little bit. And I think the third thing would be,
when in doubt, just say.
Right? just to try to live more, don't just go get wrapped up in yourself and, what you have to do and where you have to go. He's like, just enjoy the day, enjoy the moment. That's the kind of person he is. And I'm like, but I have to do this and I have to, but he's like more relaxed with life, to just like take it as it comes. That's how he is.
When's the last time you all just had fun?
Oh, man.
You had a small baby. I know that's hard. Everybody's working. When's the last time you just had fun?
Oh, man.
You want to talk about
it?
Really
fun?
Well, we're really fortunate because our Angie's mom is and her family have been really so sweet. They live right down the street, and
nice.
her mom's Angie's family is always like, if you guys need to get out and they watch the baby while we go to work, and then if we need like a Saturday night or something to go out and do something, usually about once a month we make sure we schedule something. So we went to the John Mayer concert.
Okay.
It was like February 18th we went, so that was a good time. We went to dinner, went to the show.
Where did y'all eat?
Just a little place in South Philly called Tavern on 19th.
Okay.
19th. It's just like only a few tables in there. But it's good food. It's really, really good. So.
I love those little places. Mm-hmm. What about you, Angie? What was your last memorable time that you all had fun together? Same time or different?
I think it was a different time. I'm trying to think of when we had like really, really like a lot of fun.
Like belly hurting fun.
Oh yeah, the cottage, that was fun. Yeah, we went to, was it last year or was it early this year?
Right after the holidays.
Okay. Yeah, we went to, we got a little cottage on Hotwire. Was it on Hotwire? I think you called.
I went right to their website.
Yeah. So we went to this little cottage, and it was in nature. It was like an abandoned amusement park.
Nice.
So we walked around and kind of
I didn't know that was going to be like that. We got
Where was this located?
Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we went to the Amish market. I was scared because I was like, they're going to be racist. There's no black people here, but there were some black people there, so I felt better about that. It was all different types of people, so so we had a lot of fun. Yeah. So I got COVID
from that trip.
No, I got it while we were there, and then we had to. I think we stayed the full time, but we had to be in bed for a good bit of it.
So it was nice and quiet out in the woods are around you and everything, and sometimes you just need that too. So we simply just went out to eat and. Yeah, we went to the market. It's just real low key, but it was nice to be out there.
Yeah. So you talked about, you mentioned Lancaster, right? Being a Lancaster while black. During this COVID time, I mean, it's been publicized, televised, social media, just about the civil unrest. We had a lot of police killings of black people that were, being like a huge deal. Mm-hmm. They happen all the time, but these were main points that the news was talking about. How did you all work through that from just living different lives and having different experiences within that conversation?
I think I don't want to speak for you, but it's hard for you to understand how somebody could be treated like that just because of their skin color. So he really had to come to a place where he was like, wow, that's messed up, So, and I would just tell him like, that we are being treated like animals. Like we have, like we don't have families, like we don't have jobs, like we don't have people who love us, and he would be like, I don't get it, but I'm going to stand with you,
Mm-hmm. What was the hardest part for you, Michael? Just being a witness, because I feel like it impacts everybody differently, but definitely if you look on the screen and you see yourself, you see like your brother, your father, your mother, it's different, so how did it impact you? And how did you work through it?
like we would watch the news every day. We were like glued to the news during that time because, just all the stuff that was going on. And, we would be watching the news and I would see Angie crying.
Yeah.
And it hurt so bad, and, just thinking like, how can people do this? Why are people doing this? People, it just doesn't make any sense, So, and then I had to kind of just to keep doing that thing of, like I don't have the answers. I don't, and I totally, I used to tell Angie like, like I'm sorry, like I've never me myself, I've never experienced anything like this, and the people who I've gotten to know from different parts of the world, from different countries and different walks of life. I mean, I've always been treated with kindness and respect from all different kinds of people, and I've never experienced any discrimination. Yeah. I mean, I've played in lots of bands where, I was the only white person, and was loved and accepted. And I just, would express to her, I just don't understand it. And I'm so sorry, that, this stuff is going on, and it's, I mean, I would just listen, we would talk about it and I would just listen and just do the best I could to just be that good listener and and I'm someone that I just love to bring people together,
right?
And not never make any assumptions about people, and until I talk to them and until I get to know them, as a person, whether wherever they're from, you know. So just don't always do my best to do that, and
I think that's part of just like being able to say like I don't know, like I just don't know. Because it doesn't mean that just because we're part of a certain group that we know all the answers either. However, we do know of that experience, like you said, just going to Lancaster, which is still in Pennsylvania, to say like, how are they going to treat me? Yeah. So that's like the real experience of just being while Black, right? Not doing anything, but, and then if you say, well, if I come with this hair, then how are they going to perceive me versus if I got on these clothes or if I got on a suit, all these different things. So I think that that's a part of it, just saying that we don't know. Right. Yeah.
And there were some conversations we had to have. Like we went to a few places we went to where we had Yardley. I had a gig. I was playing with a jazz trio in Yardley, PA. And we parked and Angie was like, I don't know if I want to get out of the car. I'm like, why, sweetheart? We're going. She's like, she really didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And me being married to a Black woman, I come to find I need, these are some things that I need to really take into consideration. Sometimes she's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Depending, where we are. I mean, I surround myself with people that are open and that are not. I don't surround myself with people like that would discriminate, against, different kinds of people. But just to realize that sometimes she's going to be uncomfortable and, we need to talk about it. And I always try to comfort her and let her know, well, let's just go wherever we're going, and if something happens, you feel uncomfortable, I mean, I'm going to be with her. I'm going to stand by her. And that, I don't want to be anywhere anyway, where if it's a place that you're going to feel uncomfortable or people are going to make you not accept you and make you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah. Anything you wanted to add to that, Angie?
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. When you hear Michael talk about it, what feelings come up?
Just the feeling of, he accepts me for who I am. He never made our race a thing. He's like, oh, well, I heard Black women do this. And he never said anything like that to me. So I just know that he sees me for who I am. And it's not about the color of my skin or, what hairstyle I have or anything. So he just, that's who he is. That's his heart. So
yeah. Is this both of you first interracial relationship?
Let me see. I was dating a white guy before we met, but he did make it a thing. I said he did make it a thing.
What?
about, you're black, so therefore you do this.
All right. I was like, what? Yeah. I had dated black women and Latino. I've always been open, and whatever was, I was just really open about it. I need to be with this kind of person, and that's it. I was, open to other people.
Yeah. So how did your birth families respond to you both interracially dating and then marrying?
My mom and everybody, my whole family was like, if he's good to you, that's all we care about.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. There was no they just want us to be happy. That was it, and that was there was none of that.
Yeah. What about family dinners? What's on the menu? What's on the cuisine?
My bad cooking.
No. Terrible. All that food is gone. It's gone. Right? It's not there anymore.
Because you love me.
Because I eat it. She's like, I'm sorry for my cooking. I'm like, there's nothing on my plate. Do you see anything on my plate? Because it's gone. Like, when you tell her.
What's your favorite dish that she makes?
Oh, I love her chili. She makes if she makes like a big container of it, and I'm good for the week. Like, I'm good for I take it for lunch, and it's turkey with chickpeas. I'm giving your recipe away, right? Yeah. Kidney beans. What's that? What other? Corn,
black beans,
right? And then lots of chili powder. We got. She made me hold back on it because she don't do as spicy as me though. But
do you cook, Michael?
Angie actually taught me to cook.
Hey, you talk about you the bad cook. How you the bad cook? You taught him how to cook. How does that work? Does your mom bring over food, Michael?
Well, we go to like I said, we come from a big Italian family, really big on family. We make it a point at least once a week to drive down to South Philly and we have dinner with my folks. Especially because we missed 6 months after our baby was born. So we're still kind of making up some of that lost time. So we once a week, sometimes twice a week, if there's because we celebrate every single birthday, every single holiday. We just for St. Patty's Day we just went down and we had dinner together and stuff. So it's mostly Italian stuff. So we South Philly, we call it the pasta sauce. It's gravy. I don't know if you guys know about that, about the gravy. Yeah. So that's some kind of gravy pasta dishes on the menu all the time. My dad makes some killer cheesesteaks. Nice. So we have that sometimes, and sometimes we'll just order out. Depending on because my parents work hard. So sometimes they don't feel like making dinner, but for the most part, it is home cooked stuff. Yeah, Italian stuff.
So Angie, being able to be a part of Michael's close knit family, what do you feel like you have gained from that experience?
Just seeing what it's like to unconditionally love people. As their family, they don't always get along, but they always come to a place where we love each other. We're going to make this work. So yeah. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Besides you staying in the hospital every night for 2 months, what were the times where you said this person unconditionally loves me? How did you know that you know that you know?
I would say right now. We're going through a hard time with my health and my spirit. I'm just going through a hard time. So every day he just encourages me, and he's been doing it for he just does it. So yeah, I appreciate it.
So now you got the Love Now Media team too, sending you some good vibrations as well. Yeah. What about you, Michael? How do you know you were being unconditionally loved?
I've never been with somebody that was there. I never had was there for me consistently. I've never been with somebody that every time I call, she picks up the phone. Every time I send a text, I get a text back right away. I've always had in past relationships a little bit of an uncertainty of their dedication to the relationship and loyalty. Yeah, I never once doubted your dedication to us. I can count on her anytime, and it's just been beautiful, and still we we talk a lot, and I'll call her on my lunch break at work, and we'll just have a short conversation. Like at any time of day, and I can always count on her. So that was huge for me, because when we did that love language test, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And it said one of my things was, spending time together and a lot of communication.
Yeah. I'm quality time too. What was yours, Angie?
I think mine was, it tied touch and was it time? We both had the same. I think it was touch and quality time with each other.
Yeah. And I think that's key what you said early on, listening. Because it's not enough to sometimes, just be in a space. That's not necessarily quality time. But when we're talking, conversing, but if we choose to be quiet and still together, that can feel like quality. But yeah, I think it's important. So I want y'all to think about something you want to leave the listeners with. What would be your giveaway? If you could just say one thing, if they didn't hear anything else from this interview, what would be your giveaway to the listeners about consciously connecting?
I would say that love takes work, but it's worth it. It really is.
Patience is really, really important. You have to listen to each other. You have to be patient with each other. Especially in this day where, we want things instantly, but things like, there's those age old things like love. That's one of the most important things. There's no quick fix, right? For things, so you gotta communicate, and you have to work together. And that's and that's a very important thing. It's not one-sided, it's two-sided, and compromises. I think compromises are something that really,
you don't get extra credit, Mike.
What?
You don't get extra credit. You gave me like 7 things. I'm listening though. I'm taking them in. No, you're good. I'm just messing with you.
I'm just thinking of some things that
that's
really
good.
Have been helping us along the way, but compromise is a big thing too.
All right, I got another one for y'all though. Before we go, if you were to share a song with the couples listening, or intended couples, right? Maybe they're hopeful. What would you tell them to play every day if they wanted to bring love into their life or cultivate love? What's the one song?
The Nearness of You.
Oh.
We always play that song.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an old jazz song called The Nearness of You. And it's basically saying, I don't need a whole bunch of fancy stuff around me. I just need you. So it's a really nice message.
All right, nice. And that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for joining us. I've enjoyed this episode, and it's time to talk. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us. It's awesome. Thank you.
It's not the pale moon that excites me, that thrills and delights me. Oh no. It's just the nearness of you. It is your sweet conversation that brings this sensation. Oh no. It's just the nearness of you. When you're in my arms and I feel you so close to me. Oh, my wildest dreams came true. I need no soft lights to enchant me. If you would only grant me the right to hold you ever so tight.
love you.
Yeah.